Hello YouTube world, MacDaddy 1911A1 here with the Shade Tree Survivalist. Thank you for watching these videos. The name of this video is Just in Case. A lot of stuff has been going on in the world here lately, and a little bit of anxiety on our parts, the patriots. American citizens who believe in the entire Constitution, not simply what the government says we should believe in. The purpose of this video is simply this. I'm going to read off a statement here. It's quite a long one, but before I get into all that, I just want to lay it out right off the damn bat. No pussyfooting around. A lot of good Americans have been dying in some really crazy, unbelievable ways here lately. Everyone from Chris Kyle, the former SEAL sniper who was murdered by a man he was supposedly trying to help, shot in the damn back. Former SEAL Team Commander, well, he wasn't former, he was the SEAL Team 4 Commander, Job Price, committed suicide in Afghanistan. Chris Kyle, as I've already pointed out. Journalist Andrew Breitbart, murdered one night before he was supposed to release an expose on Obama. The coroner, Michael Cormier, I believe was how you would pronounce his name, murdered. Now, he was the coroner that did the autopsy, on Andrew Breitbart. A couple of days later, he is poisoned and murdered. Georgia Senator Nancy Schaefer, about to release a report on the Department of Child Protective Services. All right? Accusing them of trafficking children for certain individuals in the U.S. government and others as sex slaves. A Georgia senator now. Not some nut job conspiracy theorist. A senator. And at the bottom here on my paper, Mr. Philip Marshall. Now, he was a 9/11 truther. And I've never put a damn... I've never really thought any of these 9/11 truthers had a lick of sense. But the more this crap happens, and this is just a small sampling of American citizens. Joe Price, suicide. Chris Kyle, #1 American sniper in American military history. Okay? He committed suicide. He was murdered. This guy died mysteriously. This guy was murdered. Her husband murdered her and killed himself the night before she was to release this report. Philip Marshall supposedly killed both of his teenage children, their family dog, and himself. Same thing with Miss Schaefer. The family dog, her husband, and her, all with a gunshot wound in the head. Let me tell y'all something I know. I know that if you're going into a Target to snatch and grab, to assault a compound, the first thing you do is get rid of dogs. Why? Because dogs have traditionally been a great alarm system, because they sleep throughout the day and throughout the night. You know, they take naps and they get up and they ramble around and all this, and they get great hearing. They have great smell. You don't see worth a flip. Why do you think we use canine units in the military? In Afghanistan and Iraq? Because they can smell explosives, they can smell human beings when we cannot, they can hear things way beyond what we can hear. So if you're going into a village to do a snatch and grab of a Taliban leader, you're going into a compound, first thing you do using silenced weapons is take out the freaking dogs. Alright? You take out the dogs, then you don't have to worry about it, because there goes the alarm system. Not very sophisticated, but since the quote-unquote liberal Stone Age, okay, men and people have always used dogs as an alarm system. We have a dog here. She is a coward. Big, lick you to death. But she wouldn't hurt a fly. I mean, even the cats run over her around here. But she's a great alarm system. Dozens and dozens and dozens of stories about people who had anything to do with the government, who might have known something, being murdered, suicide, freak accidents. All right, think about this. A murder-suicide, there are no witnesses. Okay? No suicide note. Just out and out, okay, I'm going to kill a whole damn family. And the dog. And myself. Straight. The purpose of this video, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever see my face on the TV news, I killed myself and murdered my family, it's a goddamn lie. Simple as that. I love life. Suicide is self-murder. It is against God. Okay? I am a sinner. We all have sinned. All have sinned, therefore have fallen short of the glory of God. So said Jesus Christ in the Bible. I know I'm a sinner, but I love life. I love my wife. Though we are not legally married, I don't care. Doesn't matter. I love my family. I love my friends. I love my country. And that's the purpose of this video. That's what I want to lay out right off the damn bat. You hear me. And my real name is Matt, M-A-T-T, Albritton, A-L-L-B-R-I-T-T-O-N. If you look at some of my trucking videos, you'll see my name proudly displayed on the side of my rig. My Bulldog Mac. There won't be none of that crap here. So without further ado, and here are some web addresses you need to go and do some research on. And you need to join the National Rifle Association. You need to contribute to the National Rifle Association Institute for Legislative Action. Sorry I didn't write it all in there as pretty as I could have. I have had other things I've had to do. NRA.org, NRAILA.org. Okay? Write your Congress and Senators. www.congress.gov, G-O-V. President, write him letters. www.whitehouse.gov, G-O-V, once again. This one here, U.S. Justice Foundation, have been receiving reports from veterans where the Veterans Administration have unilaterally told them that they are unfit to handle their own affairs anymore, and that they are no longer able to purchase a firearm or own a firearm. No legal, no court said that. The Veterans Administration. Can I say bullshit? Now here is the prepared statement, but I had to get all that out right off the damn bat. No wasting time. So, hello YouTube world, this is MacDaddy1911A1, and this is my newest video, Just In Case. The subject of this video, Just In Case, has been brought about by many recent events that I have heard of, both in the mainstream media and here on the internet. One of the most disturbing events is an alert flyer from the FBI to all law enforcement agencies that I've heard about. The subject of the flyer was domestic terrorism. It gave a list of precursors that would be a red flag for officers to pay closer attention to individuals and or groups of people. Individuals and groups cited in the flyer that were specifically highlighted included persons and or groups who frequently cite their constitutional rights. That'd be me. Right-wing conservatives. That would be me. A strong belief in God. You bet your hind end, that is definitely me. Also included were pro-life, anti-abortion proponents. Guilty as charged. Militias and their members. I'm not a militia. I'm not in a militia other than the one that is talked about in our Constitution. Every able-bodied man between certain ages is considered to be a part of the militia for homeland defense. Now, before you folks out there freak out on me, remember this. Domestic terrorism is a legitimate concern for us all. Remember Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma City bomber of the Murrah Federal Building, if I remember my facts correctly. Then you have the terrorist bastard at Fort Hood that the administration, Obama, and the Army have been tippy-toeing around. They call his act of terror an act of workplace violence. Can you say bullshit? I can. That SOB ought to hang from a tall tree with a short piece of rope, period. However, have you, the viewer, been paying attention to the news and to all the patriots who are killing themselves or are being murdered by family and friends who then kill themselves? As I have stated before and will do so now, I am not a conspiracy theorist. Yet I am not blind, deaf, or stupid. Just think how many murders, mass shootings, and craziness has happened in the past year, and so far in this year. How convenient it seems that it all got into full swing in an election year. And of course after the election. How convenient it is that those young girls who were at Obama's inauguration or at his speech in Chicago or were related to them were murdered. How convenient is that for the anti-gun agenda pushing liberal bastards? What about the Navy SEAL, Commander Job Price? Job Price. Yeah, I know it looks like Job, but it's in the Bible. Job, the book of Job. You should read that sometime if you have not. Very interesting. How convenient it seems that it all got blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I lost my place. What about the Navy SEAL Commander Job Price, commander of SEAL Team 4 in Afghanistan, who supposedly committed suicide? Or the 30 SEALs that were killed in the Chinook helicopter shoot-down shortly after bin Laden was shot and killed? Or the murder of our friend Chris Kyle. And I say our friend, he was an awesome American. I didn't know Mr. Kyle. I wish I had him. Mere days after an interview he gave at SHOT Show 2013. In support, I might add, of the Second Amendment. Killed by a former Marine he was trying to help. Supposedly who had PTSD. I'm not sure. I haven't kept up on that lately. How about this? There are more suicides of current and former military personnel than are being killed in combat in Afghanistan. Have you ever heard of a journalist by the name of Andrew Breitbart? Third one down on the list. Breitbart, B-R-E-I-T-B-A-R-T, Breitbart. He died one day before his announced release of an expose on Obama. You know, the Sheriff Joe Arpaio, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, out there in Arizona, who has been given the Obama administration fits because he was trying to enforce federal immigration law. He had just spoken to him that night, and 4 hours later he was dead. And he told him about Mr. Breitbart had told the sheriff that he was a great man, a great patriot for standing up for our constitutional rights and the law, and that he would need his support once this came out. He never made it. Coincidence? Bullshit. The lead coroner who did his autopsy, the autopsy on Mr. Breitbart, a few days later was poisoned and also died. It was ruled as murder. His name was Michael Cormier, C-O-R-M-I-E-R. Fourth one on my list, Michael Cormier. Cormier. Maybe it is. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. Right here. Another coincidence? Bullshit. What about Georgia Senator Nancy Schaefer? Number 5 on my list. Schaefer. S-H-A-E-F-E-R. Nancy Schaefer. Look it up. She was investigating the Department of Child Protective Services after reports of child trafficking being carried out by CPS were handed off to her. She was investigated. She announced that she was going to release a report that would absolutely shock America the next day. That night, her husband supposedly murdered her and then killed the dog and finally killed himself. How convenient. What about Mr. Philip Marshall, a former airline pilot, former pilot for the CIA, also dead from an apparent murder-suicide? First, he kills the family dog, then his 14-year-old daughter and 17-year-old son, and then he kills himself. This just before finishing his second book. Now, like I said, this guy was a 9/11 truther, and I don't know. But it's just too damn convenient, if you ask me. I have also heard of many other people involved some way, shape, or form with the government who have died, been murdered, or supposedly committed suicide. It just does not add up. Taken one at a time, most of these deaths raise your eyebrows. But taken together, it would seem that there is a concerted effort to silence any and all dissenting voices by our government. Dissenting voices who have knowledge that they don't want out there in the public. The purpose of this video is this. We here at the Shade Tree Survivalists are American citizens, loyal to our Constitution and our country. We see evil on the rise and we will not be silenced. If we are murdered, and you, the viewer, see it on the news portrayed as a murder-suicide or as an odd accident or in a supposed shootout, it will be a damn lie, as I have already stated. We here at the Shade Tree Survivalists love this country, warts and all. We, for the moment, only care about protecting our rights through the political and, if necessary, legal system that the Constitution has established. Yet at the same time, we do see the government as a whole, and this administration in particular, steadily tearing down the system established by the Constitution of checks and balances. Just as importantly are the protections guaranteed to the people by the Constitution and its Bill of Rights. These rights are being circumvented at every level by the Patriot Act, the National Defense Authorization Act, Department of Homeland Security, Transportation Security Administration, and the Veterans Administration, and so forth. Yesterday, I read an article from a law firm, the U.S. Justice Foundation. Right down top, U.S. Justice Foundation. www.usjf.net. From the U.S. Justice Foundation that said the Veterans Administration is now sending out letters to wounded American veterans, telling them that A, they have been ruled incompetent to handle their benefits and financial affairs and will have their benefits and their checks, handled by the VA from now on. B, as a result of physical and or mental trauma, they may no longer purchase and or own any firearms. Bullshit. I say again. There is something in the Constitution and in these here United States called due process, guaranteed by that same Constitution. Only a court can rule an American citizen as incompetent. In a court of law, we the people have the right to a defense, legal counsel of our choosing to fight for us, the citizen. According to our laws, we are innocent until proven guilty. Or put another way, we are competent until proven beyond a shadow of a doubt to be incompetent. You may not like my opinions. You may even hate them. Yet does that alone make me an idiot, incompetent, stupid, or a traitor? No, not only no, but hell no. Is defending all our rights subversive? Is studying our Constitution, the bedrock, the foundation, the cornerstone of all of our laws, subversive? Is studying about our history and our customs and our founders, is that subversive? Is being proud of my country and what it stands for something to be ashamed of? I say no. The United States of America is the shining city on the hill, as described by our wonderful President Ronald Reagan. She is the last great hope of this world. Millions have and still do come here to live the American dream. The American dream. The opportunity to be anything you want. You may succeed or you may fail. That is up to you. It may not be easy, but it is possible. I have never heard the term the European dream, or the Asian dream, or the Australian dream, or the African dream, or the South and Central American dream. No. Not that all those places have nothing going for them. They can and do. There's a lot they've got. However, here in the good old USA, we have all their good points and many, many more. Well, we are supposed to, anyway. Only heaven will ever be perfect. We are as free to live our lives as we wish. Even with our faults, we are blessed. Let all Americans take this country back before it is too late. Regardless of what the socialists from England or Europe or Asia or Africa or South America or from right here in the USA say, progressive liberalism, socialism, and communism are and always will be failures. Why? Because it is a utopian pacifist dream. A dream because there will always be a class system. Does anyone think that a poor white man or black man or Hispanic man or Asian man can identify with President Obama's or President Bush's or President Clinton's or hell for that matter any senator or congressman's lifestyle? I cannot. I also cannot vote my own pay increase. Can you? Were communist leaders in Russia, were communist leaders in Russia, China, Vietnam, Cambodia, or Cuba living off a blue-collar worker's salary? Do you think the average Venezuelan, Cuban, North Korean, Chinaman, or Russian gets the same cancer treatment as old Chavez, whatever the hell his name is, from Venezuela? No matter the political system, the political class and industrial leaders will always benefit a hell of a lot more than the blue-collar workers that they lead. That's a fact, ladies and gents. Our country may not be perfect, yet it is closer to perfection than any other place on earth. That is why I and millions of others will not simply stand aside and watch as the United States of America is destroyed by idiots. There's a quote from the president. Let's be more like Europe. I say no. Let them be more like us. Let us teach our children that instead of punishing them for saying USA, USA, we should teach them this right here. This is my version of the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the Constitution and to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which they stand, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Thank you for watching. Now do yourself, me, and every other American a favor. Call, write, protest, protect, and defend our nation, our laws, our customs, and our way. This is the United States of America. This is not Europe. This is not Asia. This is the greatest land on the planet. And whether I live or die, it does not matter. To my last breath, I will defend this country. I will defend our Constitution. Because it is we the people's Constitution, not the government's. Live free, or by God, die hard. This is Mac Daddy 1911A1 with the Shade Tree Survivalists. Thank you very much for watching. Vote, write, call your senators, congressmen, the president, everybody. Your governors, your councilmen. Don't give in, don't back up, don't back off, don't back down, don't run, don't hide. Sound off like you got a pair, as Gunny said in the movie Full Metal Jacket. Grow a set. This is Mac Daddy 1911A1 with the Shade Tree Survivalists. Thank you for watching.